Good morning, I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Our big focus this hour, former chairman and CEO of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, has triggered an intense debate after claiming that she could not have led a global company as its leader in any other country, including India. Her comments came during a conversation on leadership, innovation and meritocracy with Condoleezza, the former US Secretary of State and current director of Stanford University's Hoover Institution. Nooyi credited the American system with rewarding talent and creating opportunities based on merit, describing it as a key factor behind her rise to lead one of the world's largest multinational companies.
Both sides. So I think it's a very, very important relationship for both countries, and I hope it stays that way. And I think to the extent that we remain in a geopolitical competition or race versus China, I think India becomes a very pivotal country because you don't want that part of the world being taken over by China, which is a logical partner. I think given the bad neighborhood that India is in, it's critically important the United States protects India and allows democracy to thrive.
Atul Ranjan is joining us for more details on this story. Atul, give us more details about the context within which industry leader, former PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi has made these statements.
Well, she was essentially talking about the system, the democratic and fair system that is in place in the United States compared to, say, other countries. What essentially she says is that, a country like US, rewards talent and best brains, and that mentors and organizations do not really care about a candidate's gender, identity, or any other such, background or any such thing. Now, she has also, mentioned that any immigrant in this the system of US could prove themselves and become something. That is what she has mentioned. That is something which is not possible in any other country, including India, is what she has said. Now, she has also, further, expressed her views on the comparison between India and China. While mentioning about, China, she describes China as a homogeneous country, which is quite centralized, so it is comparatively more ordered, while India, with its, vibrant democracy and chaos, it is obviously something which is more, disorderly. She also goes on to mention about, that in India you can also find cows in the traffic, and she says that, if somebody prefers to live an orderly life, then India is not a country because it is impossible to take, is what her exact word is. So clearly, but her opinions, have divided opinions online. While some
yes, in fact, let's also now bring in my colleague Yash Ahuja, who is giving us reactions coming in online. Yash, how are citizens reacting to Indra Nooyi's statements?
Yes, Uday, it has been a mixed bag of reactions coming in from all across the internet. The first reaction on our screen says, did Indra Nooyi really just say the US allows democracy to thrive in India? Talk about a textbook savior complex. Sounds like she's auditioning for a Washington think tank or a berth in Congress post-retirement. India's democracy doesn't exist by American permission, which we've made very, very clear that India is world's oldest and largest democracy. They don't exist by American permission. Further, another user says that a pseudo-democracy that has never had a female PM president can never play a moral high ground over Indian democracy. Moving on to some other reactions coming in. They say every Westerner has a red lens which they can't think beyond. Like today, the day is not far when the opposite becomes reality. Their own democratic principles are being tested in courts. Furthermore, another reaction says that Indra Nooyi is a fan of Indira Gandhi, whose rule was the one which made all businesses to keep distance from India. But attacking India as a whole is another typical libertad behavior. Moving on, another user says that Indra Nooyi has stated that I could never have become CEO in any other country in the world, including India. It's because the system here in America is a meritocratic system. She further, the netizen says that it is a powerful reminder that in today's geopolitical landscape, nations compete not just for capital or resources but for talent. The countries that reward merit, innovation, and entrepreneurship attract the world's best minds. So yes, polar opposite reactions also coming in. Another person says that India's democracy doesn't exist by American permission. True, but US and CIA have demonstrated that they make multiple attempts to destabilize India or dismember it through its network of traitors in India or planted in India's power circle. Further, another reaction coming in says, Indra Nooyi was a great CEO. We would learn from her instead of criticizing. Another, Suhail Seth, coming on and saying that a bit rich of Indra Nooyi to say she couldn't have become a CEO in India. And yet, post-retirement, she hankered after every Indian board position imaginable. Why do successful and bright people always, he said, a cuss word on their own country of origin? Why? So yes, Uday, you see very polar opposite reactions coming in. Some people say that she was a great CEO, we would learn from her instead of criticizing. Some people say that she is not. She after retirement, she hankered every Indian board position. She wanted to become a board member of Indian companies, and now she's saying that she couldn't have become a CEO in India other than USA. Another statement that she made was that India's democracy is run because of US, which with everyone there, we have reactions coming in against that also, where people say that Westerners have a red lens which they can't think beyond. And they say that their own democratic principles, US own democratic principles, are being tested in courts while they question our democracy and principles. Back to you.
Right, Yash, thank you for joining us with those updates. Let me go back to Atul, who's also with us. Atul, clearly, of course, the internet quite divided over Indra Nooyi's statement.
Yeah, clearly, the kind of reaction that we have seen that has been read out by Yash, the fact that this the statement by Nooyi has divided the internet because of the arguments that she has made. Nooyi linking India to an absolute chaos. When it comes to democracy, while also sort of highlighting other top-down authoritarian structures that she has sort of criticized. Now, obviously, the line of the arguments that she has made was always gonna attract two different kinds of opinions. One who sort of agrees
because
with her.
There are many now, Atul, who are questioning as to whether she's done this to please the US administration, whether she is ignorant or purposely ignorant of the change situation in India. Because India has evolved, India has changed, the way of doing business in India has also changed over the years. Does Nooyi not know that, or does she purposely want to ignore that?
Well, yes, and that statement has in fact drawn some reaction. People, in fact, Foreign Secretary Constable, pointed out that there have been numerous successful female corporate leaders, heading major companies within India. In fact, in the modern India, is what he has pointed out. Now, obviously, that has been the line of argument that the critics have made against the statement that was made by Nooyi. And some of them, in fact, also saying that if she had continued in India, she would have become a CEO probably here itself. But yeah, as Suhail Seth has also pointed out that after retirement from the CEO post, she has also been trying her best attempts to get over the boards of Indian companies as well. So sort of clearly the credibility of what she has been mentioning, that has been put to question by people. People who sort of understand the country well, and have a say in the different business and different aspects.
All right, Atul. Thank you for joining us for those details. Now, in fresh developments.